Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's so good to see you. Happy Mother's Day. For all of you moms, I tell you, my heart's desire is that today is the best day that you have had so far this year. And this morning, I want to share a sermon with you that I have chosen to entitle Superheroes. A couple of months ago, my son Jonathan and his wife Emily were visiting. And I said, can you guys make any movie recommendations? I'm kind of in a movie drought. I can't seem to find a movie that is both interesting and suitable for viewing. Jonathan said, have you watched any of the movies based on Marvel comic book characters? To which I rolled my eyes. Oh, man. He's like, Dad, I'm telling you, these are good movies. You ought to try to watch them. And I would recommend that you start with Iron Man. So one night, Lynn and I were alone. We kind of looked around and made sure nobody else was watching. And we downloaded and watched Iron Man. You go, what did you think? We liked it. Now some of you just rolled your eyes at me like we got a 61-year-old pastor that likes movies based on funny little characters. And yeah, we liked it. But apparently we're not the only ones who like these movies. Now the latest movie from this sequence was just released, Avengers Endgame. Am I right? Right? And it set a box office record, grossed $1.52 billion opening weekend. So apparently a lot of people like to watch these movies based on funny book characters. You know what I think that is? I think deep down inside, every one of us wishes that there was some network of superheroes that was watching over us. Well, I'm here to let you know a little secret. There is such a network. Oh, we don't call them superheroes. We call them mothers. And this morning I want to tell you the story of a supermom. Her story is found in the New Testament book of Matthew, chapter 15, and the New Testament book of Mark, chapter 7. We're going to read a few verses from both of these texts in just a few moments. Before we do, let me set the stage and tell you what is happening. Our story is set in the country of Phoenicia, not Israel. Particularly, it's set in a city called Tyre, T-Y-R-E. And in the city of Tyre, there lived a mother who was suffering. You ask, why was she suffering? She was suffering because her daughter was suffering. Isn't that just like a mother? A mother feels pain when their children feel pain. You ask, well, why was her little girl suffering? The Bible said that she had been possessed by an evil spirit. A demon had taken control of her mind and her thoughts, and subsequently was controlling her behavior. And the Bible said this demon tormented the little girl. Never allowed her a moment's peace. As a matter of fact, it said specifically this demon severely tormented her. After doing a little research, I came to understand that meant she was probably suffering greatly from mental and physical illness. As any good mother would do, I'm sure she sought help from wherever she felt like she could get help. Now, Phoenicians were pagans, which means they worshipped a host of gods. They had all kinds of gods. Unfortunately, none of their gods existed. And I'm sure that she had prayed and prayed hard to her gods. I'm sure that she had offered great sacrifices to her gods, trying to secure their help. And guess what? I don't know how long that lasted, months, maybe years. No help came. Situation only worsened. I'm sure that this mom sought help from the medical community, but they couldn't help because the source was spiritual. But in spite of all of these failed attempts to get help for her daughter, this suffering mother had hope. She still had hope. You know where hope came from? The Bible said she had heard of a Jewish man named Jesus. She had heard of him. That's it. She believed that not only could Jesus help her, little girl, she absolutely believed that Jesus would help her little girl. She had heard of Jesus, and she just caught wind that Jesus and his men were in town. Jesus and his 12 men had left Israel, left the country, and they had come up to Phoenicia, and they were staying in Tyre. You say, well, why, Ronnie? Were they going to do great crusades? Going to try to win some people? No, they were there to get some rest, to regroup, to recover, to escape the pressures that were beginning to mount on them in Israel. As a matter of fact, they were there kind of on the down low. They didn't want anybody to know. But word had leaked, and this mother knew he was there, and she found out where he was staying. She got the address. So she sought him out, and she found him. And I want you to look what happened when she found Jesus. Matthew chapter 15, verse 22. A Gentile woman, this means non-Jewish woman, who lived there came to him pleading. Now the other text, Mark chapter 7, said she was begging. You getting that? Have mercy on me, O Lord, Son of David. For my daughter is possessed by a demon that torments her severely. The book of Mark says that when she came before Jesus, she immediately got on her knees. And from that posture, she began to beg him for mercy. She was begging that he would show her compassion, extend some act of kindness. We know what that was. Cast this devil out of my daughter. In her suffering, and you end my suffering. Now it's interesting to me that she addressed Jesus as the Son of David. You know what that means? You know what she was saying to him? She was acknowledging that I believe that you're from the royal line of David. This is what she was confessing. I believe that you are the Messiah, the King of the Jews, the one they've been waiting on all these generations. I believe you are him. That's what she's saying. A lot of Jews hadn't gotten this at this point. But this Gentile woman from Tyre in Phoenicia had already figured it out, and she believed that, all right, you are the Messiah. But she addressed him as Lord. The Greek word translated into the English word Lord is the proper name for God. So what she's saying is, I know that you're the Messiah, but I also know this. You're not just a prophet, you're not just a teacher, you're not just a good guy who does good things for people. I know that you are God. I know that deity resides in that human body in front of me. Can't think about this. And when she called him Lord, she was saying something. Not only do I know you're God, you need to know you're my God. And I am your servant. She had already turned her back on all these Phoenician gods. And she was no longer worshiping them. She was worshiping the true God. She was no longer serving all these false gods. She's serving the true God. And she acknowledges that to him, and she begs him, please show me mercy by showing mercy to my little girl. Cast that devil out of her. So how would Jesus respond to such a request? You're not going to believe it. It's going to shock you. I'm going to forewarn you. It's going to shock you. Look at verse number 23. But Jesus gave her no reply. Not even a word. Can you picture this scene? Here's this woman before him. She's acknowledging all these great things. She is begging. And I think Jesus, I don't believe he even made eye contact. I believe he's looking off into space, just staring off into the distance. He never said a word. Not a word. How do you think she responded? You know what Mark said in chapter 7 of his letter, the text, parallel text, but you know what he said? This woman just kept begging. She didn't let up. Ignore me if you want. I will not stop asking for your help. Well, I want you to read the rest of the verse and see how these men, certainly he had these 12 godly men gathered around him, great men of faith, right? Great compassionate men. And he said, then his disciples urged him, help the poor lady. Is that what it says? They urged him, send her away. Tell her to go away. They said, she is bothering us with all this begging. She's gotten on our last nerve. Can you not do something about this? Send her away so that we can get back to what we were doing. Sensitive, caring, right? They said that right in front of her. So what do you think she did? She kept begging. She kept begging. Please show me mercy and show my daughter mercy. Begging by casting this devil out of her. Finally, Jesus responded. I want you to read it with me. It's chapter 15, verse 24 through 26, but also Mark chapter 7, verse 27, to kind of get a feel for exactly what he said. Then Jesus said to the woman, I was sent only to help God's lost sheep, the people of Israel. But she came to worship him, pleading again, Lord, help me. Jesus responded, it isn't right to take food from the children and throw it to the dogs. Mark said, this is what Jesus said. Jesus told her, first, I should feed the children, my own family, the Jews. It isn't right to take food from the children and throw it to the dogs. Now listen to me, because some of you are thinking the same thing I did. When this story came to my mind, I thought, holy moly, how do you explain that? Because I'm not sure I completely understand what Jesus said to this. They're difficult verses to understand. I want you to know, first of all, Jesus was speaking in terminology that he knew she would understand, but more importantly, he was speaking in terminology he knew these 12 guys would understand. You got it? Now, I'm going to give you the best paraphrase I could come up with. I think it's very accurate. I guess you could say I'm going to give you the Hodge translation of what Jesus said. How many want to hear the Hodge translation? Oh, come on. How many want to hear the Hodge translation? Okay, good. This is what Jesus said to her. I came to be the King of the Jews. I came to offer them a kingdom first. They're my priority. Does that have the ring of rejection about it to you? Remember, she's not a Jew. That kind of has a ring of rejection to me. So what did she do? You know what the Bible says she did? She began to worship him. Is this not crazy? She began to worship him. Jesus, you alone are the true God. Jesus, you alone are worthy to sit upon the throne of your creation. Jesus, you alone are worthy to sit upon the throne of the human heart. You are the Alpha and Omega. You're the beginning and the end and everything in between. I love you. I adore you. I praise you. She starts to worship. I'm telling you, we're talking about a super mom here. And she continued begging. I believe she raised the level of intensity of her begging. I'm begging you to show me mercy by showing my daughter mercy and casting this devil out of her. And Jesus, he said it wouldn't be right. Woman, listen to me. It wouldn't be right for me to take food off the plate of the children and feed the household pet. It wouldn't be right for me to take tell me, that sounds like a no. Does that sound like a no to you? I believe those 12 jacked legs are sitting around there with a smug look on their face. They looked at her like, are you getting it? Did you get that? Do we have to interpret for you? I believe there was a long, awkward silence. And here's what she did. She responded. She had something to say. Look at it with me. Matthew 15:27, she replied, that's true, Lord, but even dogs are allowed to eat the scraps that fall beneath the master's table. Tough to understand. She said, oh, I hear you. I understand you. I even agree with you. It wouldn't be right of any parent to take food off the child's plate to feed the family pet. But answer me this. Wouldn't the family pets be allowed to eat the scraps that fell from the table? I want to give you my best paraphrase of what you just said. Jesus, I didn't come here and ask you to show me mercy because I feel I deserve it. I know I don't deserve it. I know what I am. Or maybe I could put it better. I know what these 12 men think I am. I didn't come here because I believe that the Jews deserve less than you're planning to give them. I want you to give them everything you want to give them. I came here today because I believe you're a big enough God to do both. I believe that you can bless the Jews to the fullest extent and have enough left over to bless me too. Are you still with me? You listening? You engaged in this story? Because if you are, you just heard a sound. You just heard a thud. You heard a thump. You know what that was? That was the microphone hitting the floor. Because this was a drop the mic moment. I can see those guys kind of taking a step back. I go, oh no. Gotta see what he's going to say about this. Jesus responded, you know the first two words out of his mouth? According to Mark, you know the first two words out of his mouth? He said, good answer. Huh? Good answer. Oh, he was impressed with her. Not necessarily her courage, the courage she had demonstrated by speaking up, or her cleverness on her play of words. He wasn't really impressed with her intellect or her grasp of theology. He said, good answer. He said, woman, it's obvious that you have great faith. Well, let's back up just a little bit. Why would Jesus ignore her? Why would he say those things? You know, what was he doing? He was provoking her. He was getting her to the point that she would say that out loud. Why? I mean, was it so that Jesus could know that she had great faith? No, he already knew that. Was it so that she could know she had great faith? No, she already knew that. He had her say it out loud so that he could turn to his 12 men and say, now that's what faith looks like, guys. She'd never seen my face before today. She'd never heard my voice. She's never heard me preach a sermon. She's never seen me perform a miracle. And you've been with me every day for 3 years. And she's got what you don't have yet. That's why he did it this way. Then he looked at her and said, okay, well, based on your faith, I granted your request. You think about it. You know what he did? Without saying anything, without standing to his feet, you know, some crazy arm motions or going to her house. You know what he did? He cast the devil out of her. He says, it's done. Now, in my imagination, picture you think, that it's over, honey. I can see her kind of stepping to her feet, wiping the tears off of her face. Perhaps looking back at those 12 guys. I think they were looking at her differently now. Maybe with a little bit of respect. In my imagination, I see her wagging her finger and saying, hey, boys, there's a lesson in this for you. Don't you ever get in the way of a mother when she's talking to Jesus. So she goes home. What does she find? Mark chapter 7, verse 30. And when she arrived home, she found her little girl lying quietly in bed. Finally, the torment was over. She's getting some rest. And look at that. What does it say? And the demon was gone. Done. What do we learn from this story? You ready? Jesus makes a difference. You got it? Jesus makes a difference. Without rising from his seat, Jesus did what the Phoenician gods could never do. In an increment of time too small to measure, Jesus did what an entire medical community couldn't do. He cast the evil spirit out of this little girl. And oh, what a difference it made. No more torment. Now there was peace and rest. No more suffering. Now there was celebration and thanksgiving. No more bondage. Now there was freedom. No more mental and physical illness. Now there was healing. A nightmare ended and a new life began. Jesus makes a difference. Of course, most of us already knew that before we came here today, because Jesus has made such a difference in our lives. He has delivered us from the clutches of the devil. He ended a siege and set us free. He has given us a new and better life. So from this story, we have been reminded that Jesus makes a difference. But that's not all we learned. You see, Jesus makes a difference, and Jesus makes a difference, and so do mothers. That's the complete lesson. Jesus makes a difference, and so do mothers. There are two heroes in this story. Jesus and the little girl's mother. Yes, Jesus performed the miracle. I get that. But why did he do it? Jesus performed a miracle because a desperate mother asked him to. Let me rephrase that. Jesus performed a miracle because a desperate mother begged him to. It is apparent that the mother in our story had a great love for her daughter. I'm sure that this love had compelled her to seek help from every possible source. I'm sure that love kept her going when nothing worked. But this mother possessed more than a great love for her daughter. She possessed a great faith in Jesus. That's why she eventually ended up at Jesus' feet pleading for his help. Great love and great faith drove this mother to find Jesus even though he was living off the grid at this time. Great love and great faith turned desire into impassioned cries for help. Great love and great faith kept her from giving up when she felt ignored and rejected. In the end, Jesus responded to this mother's great faith with a great miracle. Wow, what a mom. What a hero. What a difference she made in her little girl's life. I want you to remember this. A mother with a great love for her children and a great faith in Jesus will make a great difference in her family. A mother with a great love for her children and a great faith in Jesus is a true superhero. You got any superheroes in your life? I've got many. Can I mention two? My mom. And my wife, the mother of my children. I have two superheroes in my life. We were raised poor. Now, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to say, we were raised poor, and then you've got to respond and say, how poor were you? You ready? We were raised poor. How poor were you? Man, I was so poor I had to eat my cereal with a fork so my brother could have milk to put on his cereal. We were poor. "Did you lose a shoe?" I said, "Nope, found one." I'm preaching, you just got to sit and take it. Come on, come on. We were raised poor, man. I mean, poor. You don't have to say it anymore. If you don't want to joke, don't say it again. But in spite of that, my mother always found a way to make sure that we had everything we needed, and most of what we wanted. I look back and I go, how did she do that? I think she had superpower, some kind of superpower. My wife, she has a whole arsenal of superpowers. One of which is, I describe it as the look. I'm telling with a glance, my wife has the ability to render children speechless and temporarily immobile. You know, I can't do the look. I started to get her to come and say, "Lynn, do the look," but I knew it would traumatize the children who were here in the auditorium. We raised two kids, and there were times that our kids didn't do as they were supposed to do, and you're sitting there in a kind of a tense moment. You're trying to talk this thing through, and all of a sudden one of the kids cops an attitude, and they begin to talk back. And I tell you what, I've seen my wife unveil the look. Me and Janice, they're going, "Well, I don't know why I can't," everybody else, and all of a sudden, Lynn, and just kind of slip off into their bedroom. End of story, man. You know, I've tried to do that. I'd give them a look and say, "What are you staring at?" I tell you, the only place I've ever seen that look is on some of Clint Eastwood's westerns. If you've ever seen Pale Rider, remember the last scene, and one bad guy's left standing in the street, and then Clint walks out, and they're about to have a gunfight. Clint's got his head down with that hat, and the guy's standing there, he really doesn't know who he's up against. All of a sudden, Clint looks up. And you can see fear in the other guy's face. And this look has the ability to somehow communicate a message telepathically. I think what it's saying is, you don't want what's coming next. I've lived for 43 years with a superhero. You got any superheroes? I know you do. Some of you, the only reason you're saved, the only reason your life took a turn for the better, is you got a praying mother somewhere who refused to give up on you. Jesus makes a difference, and so do mothers. In light of what we've learned, what are we going to do? Pretty simple, guys. Pretty simple. I'm going to let you leave here and go do it. We're going to honor Jesus. You're going to honor Jesus and your mother. Got to do both. I promise you that this mom and her daughter never missed an opportunity to give Jesus the credit for the miracle that had taken place in their lives. And neither should we. We should be quick to point out to others that Jesus is the reason their lives have taken such a positive turn. People need to know that Jesus is the true hero of our story. However, we can't forget the other heroes of our story. If there was such a thing as Mother's Day in Phoenicia, I promise you there was one daughter that never forgot to honor her mother. There was at least one daughter who recognized that in her story, her mom was indeed a superhero. Mothers are heroes and should be honored as such. As a matter of fact, the Bible actually commands us to honor our mother. So here's what we're going to do. Today, I want you to honor your mother. And honor the mother of your children. If your mother is alive and there's any possible way for you to get to her and visit with her for a while, you need to do that. You know what she's going to need from you? Your time, your presence, your attention. I hope you're already planning that. If not, I want you to change your plans. You need to get to her. when you get to her, you tell her. You tell her how much she means to you. You tell her the difference that she's made in your life. You tell her, you show her how much. Matter of fact, do both. How's that? Just do both. If your mother is deceased, I'll tell you what I want you to do. I want you to honor her. Here's what I want you to do. You find somebody who's willing to listen to you for a few minutes, and you tell them about your mother. As a means of honor, you tell them about your mom. You talk to them as long as they're willing to listen. Some of you are on social media. You know what you ought to do? You say, now, I know what some of you look at me like, well, no. Yes, you are. You're on social media. I'm not. You say, well, how would you know? Because sometimes I log on Miss Lynn and I stalk you. I'm watching. Post something about your mother. Honor your mother. Honor the wife of your children today. Your mama differently today? I'm going to cook for her. Now, there's a look of horror in her face when I told her, you know what I'm going to do for you Sunday? I'm cooking for you. This just looked like flowers would have sufficed. I mean, I just did. I told this in the first service. The guy came up after me. He said, so you're going to cook for Lynn? I'm like, yeah. He said, so that's kind of like you giving Michael Jordan basketball lessons, right? Do something today to honor the mother of your children. Honor them today. And don't wait a year to honor them again. Treat them like the superheroes. They really are. Let's pray together. Father, in your grace, you have lavished us with one gift after another. Maybe the greatest gift ever was our mom. Thank you. If we've never seen it clearly, may we see that clearly today. I pray that moms everywhere will be honored as they should be, because they sure do deserve it. Amen. You're dismissed.